Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from DailyRacingForm, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 5 at Oaklawn Park on Saturday. Not only is it the kickoff leg of a 50-cent pick 4, but it's also a Kentucky Oaks qualifying point race. The $200,000 Martha Washington at 1 mile and a 16th for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a look at this field. Now, last year, Secret Oath won this race. She would go on to win the Kentucky Oaks. We have 2 very promising fillies in here right now, Mike. The 3 Defining Purpose, the 5 Olivia Twist. They're going to take the lion's share of the wagering.
Yeah, as they should. They both come in with credentials into this race, Dan. Olivia Twist undefeated on the way in, but not the favorite on the morning line. That's Defining Purpose, who won the prep over this track going a mile, and she won it very easily.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race. I'm going to slightly disagree. I know that the 1 wet point showed some speed last time out over the synthetic surface. I think Olivia Twist, Mike, if she breaks, they're going to try to make the front with her.
Yeah, that would be a smart thing to do. She did, settle very nicely in behind horses in her most recent start. But I think in this race, they should try to use her speed and try to make the lead with her.
Let's talk a little bit about the number 1 Wet Paint, well-connected daughter of Blame, a Godolphin homebred trained by Brad Cox. You're getting Flavian Pratt. You're getting 9-2 on the morning line. Now, maybe the path of least resistance, winning a maiden race at Horseshoe Indianapolis and then immediately going to the synthetic at Turfway. She ran an okay second last time out, and the 3rd place horse in that race returned to place in a graded stake at Santa Anita on dirt, but with only a 68 buyer.
Yeah, she hasn't faced any serious competition yet. I feel like she's a filly who's just sort of finding her way, though, Dan. She's very lightly raced. She kind of looks like she doesn't really know what she's doing yet. But she did win her only dirt start. I know it was on a sloppy track, but made a nice move from last in that race, took over, kept going, even though it kind of looked like she was losing her focus a little bit in that race. I thought she actually improved a lot last time, showed a little bit more speed, made the lead ahead of the favorite in there and fought pretty gamely. I don't know. I can see another step forward for this horse who has a nice pedigree.
The number 2 Key to Success has already been claimed twice in her career, and she finished second last time out in a 2-life allowance race, turning all the way back to 5.5 furlongs. And she was outrun early in this race. She's going to get up for second at a big price. I think she'll appreciate stretching back out in distance. It's really all a question of whether this competition at this point in her career is just a bit too tough.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, she's not facing a bunch of killers, at least at this point, but it is a pretty big step up in class for her. She's just sort of forging on here to get second on a pretty steep cutback. She did break her maiden around 2 turns for when McPeak had her, but that was a 30 claimer.
Speaking of Kenny McPeak, he's got the 3 Defining Purpose, who is already a stakes winner over the Oaklawn Oval. She won the Year's End Stakes on New Year's Eve going a mile. Let's watch this effort. She's had a pretty good trip in stalking position, and she made a brushing move on the turn to blow by the speeds, and she keeps right on rolling along. A very likable performance for Defining Purpose, Mike. Her buyers seem to be getting faster, and she might sit a good trip in here as well. She looks tactical.
Yeah, she does look tactical. She just crushed that field, Dan. This is a tougher race than that one, but she won that race as easy as you wanted to see a horse win it. I didn't think her goldenrod 2 back. I didn't think that was a poor performance at all. She wasn't quite good enough, but she ran fine in there. And when she broke her maiden, she showed good speed that day. There were other horses going for the lead, but she would not let them have it. I wonder how aggressive they get in here.
Talk about old school. Mr. Lucas really went old school at Saratoga with the 4 Take Charge Brianna. You don't see it too often. 2-year-olds running 3 times during the Saratoga meet. Take Charge Brianna did, and she won in start number 3. She was 3rd in the Year's End Stakes, a race we just saw. Certainly no match for Defining Purpose. She has to improve.
Yeah, just never really could get close early in that Year's End. But I thought she was making a pretty nice late run into that race, Dan, to get 3rd. I thought maybe it was a step in the right direction. You mentioned the 3 starts at Saratoga, just got better with each one of those, overcame a pretty bad stumble to break her maiden at the start of that race on closing day. And, so far stretching out hasn't really worked for her, but her pedigree says distance. I feel like there's another step forward coming for this horse.
The only 3-time winner in the field is the unbeaten number 5, Olivia Twist, who won the Trapeze Stakes to close out her 2-year-old campaign here at Remington Park. And this trip really worked out. She was able to sit the pocket, the rail opened up, and Olivia Twist does the rest.
Yeah, just a perfect trip in this race. And once she gets through down on the rail, she's going to sort of edge away from this field. I'll be honest, Dan, I wasn't blown away by this performance. I didn't think this was a very good field, but she just did what she had to do. And as you've already sort of alluded to, they could just sort of send her in here. And maybe if she makes the lead, she's really tough to run down.
And if she doesn't go to the front, maybe the 6 Taxed will be the one, a gate-to-wire winner and a $50,000 maiden claimer, 2 starts back, going 1 turn at Churchill Downs. She was claimed out of that race. She was part of a pace dispute last time out in the year's end, finishing behind a couple of these, so she'll have to improve.
Yeah, going to have to do a lot better than that. Defining Purpose just sort of sat behind her in that year's end and then just ran right by her around the turn. She just was no match. So she's got a lot to find, not only in the face of that one, but maybe in some others.
Top pick time for the Martha Washington. My top pick's more of like a board play. Taxt got involved in a pace battle last time out. Maybe it won't be as strenuous for her this time. Probably she's best played maybe to split the 2 favorites if you want to play exactas. But I do believe that the 3 Defining Purpose is the horse to beat.
So do I. That's why I have her on top. I just feel like she's going to be tough in here, Dan. I like all of her races basically, and I think there's probably better to come for her. I'll probably throw the one in there, Wet Paint. I feel like there's some potential with that horse. Maybe she's the one who can split the favorites.
Really curious to see what she does. She seems like she has a lot of upside. 3154 for Mike, 6351 for me. I respect the 3 immensely. It's the Martha Washington with Kentucky Oaks qualifying points on the line at Oaklawn on Saturday. Good luck.